Hey, you are now tuned in to Restoration to the Second Powers podcast, where we're living life with no walls. Today, you will be hearing the teachings of our spiritual guide, Regina L. Stillman. If you'd like to learn more about the fellowship, check out our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/restoration2. Also, if you'd like to make a donation, go to givelify.com and look for us at Restoration 2 or Cash App us at $R2Power. Now, everybody, throw your twos up and let's get lifted. Ho!
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I want to invite you, or I want to welcome you rather, to today's edition of Let's Get Lifted Soulful Celebration. I am, yes I am, your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, and I'm so glad to have you with me here on this Sunday afternoon on, yes, this fine day. Mel is on Discord, y'all. Y'all better check it out. Miss Fabulous is in the house. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I want to say good afternoon to you, Mel, Miss Fabulous. Come on in the room. I want to say good afternoon to the Rebel Inc., Sheila Miles, BT Deep Mom, and Anita Harvey. I appreciate you all for getting in here right early on this Sunday afternoon, and I welcome you into the Lion's Den. And everybody else that will get in here on this fine day. I know we may be battling a little bit. How about those Chiefs? They look in a little pit right now. now. They're looking a little bit. There's my sis, May Solomon. Come on in the room, sis. I see you. Stacy Blessed One, I see you. That's my sis. I love you. I love you. I love you. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Well, this is another day that God has made, and I am bringing another. Hey, Wanda Baskerville, Wanda Vision. She's in the room, y'all. Miracles, signs, and wonders. And Kinetic K is here. Also, come on, sis. I appreciate you for this afternoon sermon. And, this is the one time that I'm really supposed to be bringing a word from the Lord. The rest of the time it's supposed to be something else, but I don't know. It just keeps happening. It just keeps happening where it just gets something's going on there. MCP 812 IE, 2 tambourines. Come on in the room. I see you, sis. I see you. I got you in lurk mode, Lawanda. I got you, sis. Thank you for being here and thank you for listening. Now today I'm going to go a little bit of a different direction, and I always am a little reluctant to say that I'm going to be brief and we're going to get out of here early, because it seems like every time I do that, it ends up going to full time. But I'm thinking today that we might get out early, but stay with me because I'm going a different direction. I need to lay some foundational groundwork. Truly, yesterday I was blessed to go to one of the local ministries here in the city and minister to the group there. They were a whole blessing. It was just a marvelous, marvelous day. It really, really was. And on this morning, I've done my 2 services already, and here we are, and we'll be back. One reason he's in the room. He's in the room. That's my friend. One reason is a streamer out here in these Twitch streets. This is my bishop and my brother. I want you all to follow him. He will bless your whole life, and he is a whole vibe all by himself. I love you so much. DJ Onyx Heart, come on in the room, baby. He is also a streamer on Twitch, and I want you to follow him as well. He will bless your whole life. Everybody that I'm in touch with, and I just have to say it, just call a spade a spade. Everybody that is out there that I'm in touch with, they're all phenomenal. So I'm telling you, there's so much excellence out here in this world and on these Twitch streets right now. It's just indicative of what God is doing in this hour. For real, for real. God is, he's just outdoing himself and has out. Come on in here, Mufasa. That's my truck driver, y'all. That's my truck. Listen, I love this brother. 63 is a good year. I love this brother. And truck driver, I tell you what, you are a whole blessing to my life as well as others. And I don't know about you, but I love this combination that God is putting together. It's like a masterpiece of everything's in here, the taste, everything. When you watch the cooking shows now, they talk about letting stuff marry together. This thing that God has allowed to marry together in the person of all of you different personalities and people that come in, y'all bless me and bless this channel. I'm just trying to let you know. Lady T is in the room. Come on in here. I'm so happy as we get ready to share this word. I love you, sis. So much love coming at you. Thank you for coming in to Get Lifted Soulful Sunday. This is our time to get our souls full. That's 2 different words. Get your soul full, like soul glow. Let your soul get full on today. And I hope that you will hear the word of the Lord that I want to share with you on today. Now, listen, I got to go here because I am dealing with the new age that we are in. Yes, I said we're no longer under the age of law. That was the old covenant, and law could not bring us into relationship and wholeness with God. We see us coming into the age of the New Testament and the ecclesia, the age of the church, and even the church has been unable to really, the ecclesia, and thereby all of the politicking and all the rules and regulations, all of the things that we've created from the place of the church. And I said this, we still could not come and find good, wholesome relationship with God. As I talk about my mission and understanding that my mission is to deconstruct the walls between the sacred and the secular. That's what God has put me on this earth for such a time as this. deconstruct those walls between the sacred and the secular, and just let the people begin to move and flow and go in the love of God. So as we get and we see what God is doing this hour, I just want to shift up just a little bit. And I want to bring a thought to mind. You see my scripture up there for today, 1 Chronicles chapter 28, verses 1 through 6. And then we're going to also stay in 1 Chronicles chapter 28, verses 20 through 21. And I want you to hear the scripture was so long, I didn't put all of that in. So if you'll allow me today, I'll just do some reading and you can follow along with me. 1 Chronicles, the 28th chapter, that is in the Old Testament for those that may not know location wise, and chapter 28 verses 1 through 6. Then we're going to jump down and read verses 20 through 21 in that same chapter. So I want you to come on. We're going to break it down. So I want you all to hang with me today. I'm going to go ahead and put the sermon topic up, and I want you to let this marinate in your spirit. Just let it marinate in your spirit. Get all of it, get the fullness of it, because I want you to hear the hour that we're in right now. This is the age of God. So as we've come out of the age of law, we've come out of the age of the ecclesia. Now let's come into the age of God to do a new thing and see what it is that God is doing in our lives. All right. So I want to deal with this as a topic: builders and healers. Builders and healers. That's my thought for today. Builders and healers. So let's go here and read the word of the Lord. And the word of the Lord reads as such. And David assembled all the princes of Israel, and the princes of the tribes, and the captains of the companies that ministered to the king by course, and the captains over the thousands, and captains over the hundreds, and the stewards over all the substance and possession of the king and of his sons, with the officers, and with the mighty men, and with all the valiant men unto Jerusalem. Then David the king stood up upon his feet and said, "Hear, my brethren and my people. As for me, I had in mine heart to build an house of rest for the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and for the footstool of our God, and had made ready for the building. But God said unto me, Thou shalt not build an house for my name, because thou hast been a man of war." I want you to underscore that in your minds. Because thou hast been a man of war, and has shed blood. Howbeit the Lord God of Israel chose me before all the house of my father to be king over Israel forever. For he hath chosen Judah. Come on and say, he hath chosen Judah to be the ruler, and of the house of Judah, the house of my father. And among the sons of my father, he liked me to make me king over all Israel. And of all my sons, for the Lord hath given me many sons, he hath chosen Solomon, my son, to sit upon the throne of the kingdom of the Lord over Israel. And he said unto me, Solomon, thy son, he shall build my house and my courts, for I have chosen him to be my son, and I will be his father. Now I want to jump to verse 20 in that same chapter, and verses 20 and 21 read as such. And David said to Solomon his son, Be strong and of good courage, and do it. Fear not, nor be dismayed, for the Lord God, even my God, will be with thee. He will not fail thee nor forsake thee until thou hast finished all the work of the service of the house of the Lord. And behold, the courses of the priests and the Levites, even they shall be with thee for all thy service of the house of God. And there shall be with thee for all manner of workmanship, every willing skillful man for any manner of service. Also the princes and all the people will be holy at thy commandment. And the people of the Lord said, Amen. Now again, 1 Chronicles chapter 28, verses 1 through 6, concluding with verses 20 through 21. Now, this is where I want to go on today, and I want to bring us into a different mindset as we're moving on in the service of building the thing that God would have us to bring forth and birth in this hour in the age of God. The reason why I chose this particular passage of scripture is because I wanted to show the difference between the house of David and David's desire and want and longing to build the Lord a house, but being denied that opportunity. It was bestowed upon his son, upon the next generation, upon Solomon. Out of all of the sons that he had Solomon, and he said, look, the Lord has looked and he's come in and he's chosen Judah. And I don't even have to go through all of you all, I'm sure, have been well versed and well schooled in understanding that Judah means praise. So we understand how praise has come in, those that are coming into another level of worship. And praise isn't just something that we do, but praise is who we are. Our lives are to be a praise unto God. So when I talk about our lives being a praise unto God, I talked on the other week and again this week as well, with the idea that the Son of Righteousness is going to rise with healing in his wings. We look at this in Malachi chapter 4, verse 7. And I said to you then, I said, listen, I want you to understand who and what you are. I want you to understand that you emanate, that you are the ray, you come from the source, the reality that if we talk about the son of the morning being Jesus and looking at God and how God is the sun that lights our day, he is everything. He's all in all and through us all. When we begin to understand the power that we have as a ray that emanates from the sun, as a ray that emanates from the sun, can you imagine the power of just one sun ray? And if you can get that in your mind, you can begin to harness and understand the power that is in you as a sun, S-U-N ray, as a sun ray emanating from the son of the morning that rises with healing in his wings. And I keep telling you that the healing that's in his wings is you, beloved. It's not a matter of waiting for something to come down out of heaven. But listen, I want you to understand that in this hour, God is sending you forth and God's sending you out to be the healing that's in the land. You are the salve. You are the healing. You are that brings life where there's death. What God has given you and what God has deposited in you. Arise, shine, for your light is come and the glory of the Lord is risen upon you. I want you to understand yourself as the glory of God, as the manifestation, the manifested glory of God. That's you, beloved. That's why I keep trying to get you in this understanding where you're no longer denying yourself and down talking yourself and downplaying yourself and all of the negativity that has seen yourself as unworthy and unfit. I'm trying to get you to understand and see yourself in the transformation. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I need you to see yourself in the transformative place. I am the sun ray and I emanate from the source itself because I am connected to the source. Yes, I am connected to the source. I am relational with the source. I have relationship with God. And so then when I go back to this idea that the son of the morning is rising with healing in its wings, then I come back to this point of understanding it's talking about me. I even want to go here on 2 Chronicles 7:14, which was the passage I was given on yesterday. And, you know, even as we talk about prayer, I said, listen, God's people in prayer, it's time for God's people to get up from praying and be busy. It's time for us to get up from praying and be busy. Now, I want you to hear what I'm saying here. And yes, 2 Chronicles 7:14, we all know it. If my people, which are called by my name, and we had to deal with the element of understanding, called by my name is dealing with relationship, not just whoever calls the name, but I mean called by my name the same way that a bride is called by her husband's name. Used to be back in the day, called by the name of the spouse. So that now the reason why my mother, who was birthed in Askew, it was called by the name Stillman, was because when she came into relationship and married John Stillman, she then became Anna Stillman. And by his name, if my people which are called by name, we come into that understanding that there's a relationship that gives us the ability to see these things happen in our lives when we begin to move in it. And then I am able to be called by that name, not because I was married to John Stillman, but because I was birthed from Anna Stillman, from the loins of John Stillman. So by virtue of the fact that I was birthed a Stillman, I'm also called by that name. I want you to understand that relationship that exists between us and God. If my people, which are called by my name, and I'm talking about relational, I'm talking about the bride, I'm talking about understanding as the children of God, as the bride of God. If my people which are called by my name and have relationship with me, if they humble themselves and pray and they seek my face, and we talked about this the other day, you all have done the ask, seek, and knock. We've already done the seeking of God's face. If you then turn from whatever the wicked ways are, and I'm telling you really right now, the biggest area that I'm trying to speak into the body is your wicked ways are the biggest wicked way to not understand and identify your relationship to God, to not understand and identify that you're called by his name and you no longer have to be defeated. You no longer have to be cast down. You no longer have to be whooped up. You no longer have to be in the struggle that this is the way I've got to make it and the only way I can make it is struggle. I tell people all the time, if you look at a husband, there are not many husbands out there that want their wives and their children to constantly be in a struggle. Yes, there are situations that occur from time to time where there might be a struggle, but that's not your permanent existence, or anybody that really cares about their family. That's not where they want them to live, in a constant state of struggle, trying to figure out, am I going to make it? Am I not going to make it? Well, if we look at first natural and then the spiritual, if you as natural men, if you as natural women don't want your families out here struggling and barely making it and looking toe up from the floor up, how much more does your heavenly Father, how much more does the Holy One of Israel, that's your husband, how much more does God not want to see you out there looking like you're barely making it? You can barely survive. How I'm going to pay my rent when all my money's spent? The Lord said, listen, I'm the God that is more than enough. I am the God that does provide. I am the God that healeth you. I am the God that does all of these things for you because you have relationship with me. And by virtue of the relationship that we share together, I want to make you the head and not the tail. I want to make you above only and not beneath. I want to make you the lender and not the borrower. I want to bless your going out and I want to bless your coming in. I want to bless your rising up and I want to bless your sitting down. I want to bless you because you belong and you're called by my name. So then I understand that when I begin to pray by his name and I'm called by his name, then I can expect something to happen because I have a relationship with God. And I know that when I begin to speak those things that be not as though they are, he watches over his word to perform it. So when I speak those things that be not as though they are, and he watches over that word to perform it, why does he watch over to perform it? Because I'm his child, because I'm his bride, and I'm not going to allow my name to be shamed. I'm not going to allow my name to go down in flames. I'm not going to allow my name to go up in smoke. So when I begin to understand this is the kind of relationship that I have with my God, I can stop with all of this negative thinking. I can stop with all of this low mindset that doesn't expect anything but to just suffer. I want you to understand the Lord said, I'm ready to do exceedingly abundantly above all that you could ask or think according to the power that's working in you. I need you to understand that you are that powerful sun ray that emanates from the source and you have all power. Am I talking to anybody? You have all power
power. Oh my God. That power is given to usward who believe. Now, I need you to deal with that. I need you to deal with that because he loves you. You are the apple of his eye. Oh my goodness. You're the apple of his eye. And how can two walk together except they be agreed? I want you to come into this understanding that the same power and the same glory that he has allowed to rise and shine upon you, that gives him glory and that pleases him because the relationship, you represent the God that you serve. Do you understand that? You represent the God that you serve. So it doesn't do him any favor for you to make yourself small. It doesn't do you any favor to make yourself nothing. It doesn't do him any good. Do you understand? I got to drill that in you because we have taught you the exact opposite mindset in the church. All of that playing down does no good. It brings no glory to him. I need you to get that down in your shando so you can stop doing it. And then he begins to say, listen, if you turn from your wicked ways and then I promise you, I'll hear from heaven and heal the land. And this is the thing that I want us to understand. You are the healing. You are the healing. You are the healing. He's going to heal the land. You are the healing. When we look at all of this that's going on in the world right now, I want you to take it upon yourself in understanding when the son of the morning rose with healing in his wings, he rose with you. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? He rose with your ministry. He rose with your business. He rose with your calling. He rose with your creativity. He rose with your gift. He rose with you in his wings for the healing of the nations. Do you hear what I'm saying? So this is what I want us to identify. So now we're going through this shifting and we're moving out of the age of God, out of the age of law. We're moving out of the age of the ecclesia. And now we're coming and moving into the age of God. Now, as we begin to build the Lord's house, this is where I'm going with the session on today. Now that we're ready to build the Lord's house, because we ain't about shape, form, or fashion. And I know we said it for a long time, but then we turned around and made shape, form, and fashion. But now that we're moving into the age of God, where it's about relationship, intimacy with God, now it's time to build something new. So I want us to look at what happened. We saw when they were out there in their tribunal time and era, when they were just a small people before they became a mighty nation. We saw them out there in their worship, and they had the tent of meeting. And that tent of meeting was allowing them to be nomadic because we're just wandering around. We're wandering around. But as they begin, after they had gone into Egypt, as they begin to multiply and multiply and multiply and multiply and become an exceeding great nation, as they went through all those years of bondage, and there's a parallel here, I promise you, if you pay attention, there's a parallel here. As they begin to go through all the years of bondage, as they were given the law after they were finally released from the hand of Pharaoh by a mighty delivering hand of God, after they were released, but then they still wandered around in the wilderness for 40 years. Now, this is some of our lives. This is really a testimony of where our feet have crossed over in the time that we've been on the face of this earth. We've been in bondage. Yes, we have. We've been under Pharaoh. Yes, we have. We've gotten free of Pharaoh, and then we've come into a season of still. Even though I'm no longer in bondage to Pharaoh in Egypt, I'm still wandering around trying to figure out, God, why am I here? And what is it I'm supposed to be doing? And I love this season right now, beloved, because I'm here to tell you what you're supposed to be doing. I'm here to reinforce what you're supposed to be doing. I'm here, even as I said on Yes You O Cubed all last week. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made for you. This is your day. I want you to rejoice and be glad in it because God is giving you great success. I need you to now understand it's time for you to rise up in your day. And I want you to see where even as we saw the law come into effect, and just like David wanted to build the Lord a house, but the Bible said that God told him, I'm not going to allow you to build it, David. Why? Because David, you're a man of war. Yes, you're a mighty warrior. Yes, you're an excellent soldier, but David, you're a man of war. And listen, because you have blood on your hands, no, sir, because you've killed folk out here. That's not how I want my house built. Now, I want y'all to stay with me for just a second, and I'm almost done. The Lord spoke to me and he said, listen, now I want you to take this vision of the old covenant and what happened in the Old Testament as they were getting, he said, I want you to even translate it past the time of the new covenant. And I want you to understand that the new covenant and even the now covenant, the age of God, the age of the ecclesia in the new covenant and the now covenant in the age of God. I want you to see the parallels between the two, because the ecclesia, even after they came and Jesus had come and walked before them and walked amongst them and shown them exactly what sons and daughters of God look like. And then he said before he left, greater works than these shall you do, because I'm going back to my Father. But I just needed to model. I needed you to see what it looked like. I need you to look and see what the Son of God looked like. I need you to look and see what the daughters of God look like. And the things that you saw me do, and greater things than these shall you do when I go back to my Father. Now, y'all know full well, we've barely seen the works of Christ, much less greater works. We've barely seen the works of Christ, much less greater works. And the Lord said to me, he said, the reason why, and I want you to hear me, the reason why we barely saw the works, and definitely not greater works, because even as we look, and I want y'all to hear me here, even as we look, the church took on a warrior mindset that we gonna fight the devil. And this is one thing I want y'all to understand. I look and I say, baby, I want you to understand, y'all can get out here and fight the devil if you want to. The devil is already defeated. Why would I fight somebody that's already defeated? You help me to understand that. And then even if I look at, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities and powers and spiritual wickedness. You can't fight that. Baby, God has angels. God has given his angels charge over me to keep me in all my ways. Now, y'all don't have to believe it. Y'all can keep on fighting if you want to, but why would you keep fighting when, listen, at the end of the day, the devil is already defeated? Explain that to me. And you out there just fighting, just going to conferences, just going to prayer meetings, going all over the place, trying to fight the devil who's already defeated. Rather than understanding, and this is the thing I try to get y'all to understand, and I hope you can get this from me today. I hope that you can understand even in the very essence of that. When we begin to talk about what is it that's really going on here, listen, as the bride of God, as the child of God, wherever you want to put it, the children of God speaks to my maturity level. I start as a child of God, but when I mature to a place of wholesomeness, when I mature to a place where I can have intimacy, then I become the bride of God. And if you're still a child of God, then that child of God is going to constantly stay on the peripheral, because God's not an incest. He's not a pedophile. He's going to make sure that when we come to him, we come to him in the intimate place as a mature spirit that's ready to flow forth in what it is that God is giving us. So there's some maturity that has to happen here. Are y'all hearing me? So as I come through and I understand as a child of God or as the bride of God, this is what I really need you to get down in your shando for all y'all that's still trying to do warfare. When we understand God has given his angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways. If he's charging the angels, if he's commanding the angels, if he's telling the angels to keep charge over you, why are you out here trying to do it for yourself? Can you help me understand that, church? Can you help me? Because that mindset is the same mindset of David. I want y'all to hear me today. It's the same mindset of David that says, I gotta fight and I gotta get some blood on my hands because I'm a man of war. But I want you to understand that the real beauty of the tabernacle and the temple that was to be built could not be built by David, because David was a man of war that had that warlike mindset. Am I talking to anybody? And then I want you to understand, if I'm his child, if I'm on the immature level, if I'm his bride, once I've matured to a level where we can be intimate, why would God, who is King of Kings and Lord of Lords, have his bride and his children out there fighting? He's got angels for that. Do y'all understand? He's got servants for that. He's got ministry for that. He's got ministering angels. Am I talking to anybody? But I know we came in to ecclesia. We came into ecclesia just like David. We want to build you a house, God. We want to build you a house. And we went to war. Not only did we go to war against the adversary that's already defeated, and I'm talking about the ecclesia because Jesus had already been crucified. He'd already taken back the keys of death, hell, and the grave. He'd already ascended back to the Father and given that same power to usward who believe. He'd already done that, but the church came out fighting. Not only did we come out fighting the devil, we came out fighting one another. Am I talking to anybody in here? We came out fighting each other because we were men of war. We had that same spirit on us, just like David. We want to build you a house, God, but we still got this warlike mentality. We still got this warlike spirit. We still got this warlike attitude. Y'all ain't buying what I'm selling. It's quiet up in here. But I want you to understand, this is what the Spirit said to David. You can't build my house. You can't build my house. Not with that warlike mentality. Not when you biting and devouring one another. Come on. And listen, that warlike spirit, before time even got started with the ecclesia, you had folks saying, I'm of Paul. Somebody else said, I'm of Apollos. You had all of these people that already started fighting each other. We ain't even talking about the devil. They started fighting each other. We saw Peter and the disciples who began to say, I'm not going to fellowship with the Gentiles. I'm not going to fellowship with those brethren because they've not been circumcised. They got to be circumcised or they can't be a part of the kingdom. Baby, you done went in with your nasty, filthy self. And look, the Bible said they went in and they spied. They spied out the Gentiles' liberty in that they were not circumcised. They in there looking at folks' body parts. That's how nasty and how trifling you are because you're men of war. You already have fight in your mind. You already got fight in your spirit. You already got fight in your attitude. And Jesus ain't hardly been off the face of the earth 70 years yet. Am I talking to anybody? So then we got folks spying out folks' liberty. Then we got folk arguing about, come on, I'm preaching real hard whether y'all receive it or not. And so at the end of the day, the Spirit says, listen, the ecclesia came out just like David, men and women of war. You want to fight the devil. You want to fight your sister and your brother because that warlike spirit is still in you. Am I talking to anybody? And so at the end of the day, this is where I want us to recognize where the Spirit of God said, but I am calling the next generation. Not those of the age of the ecclesia, but I'm calling those of the age of God that no, this isn't the season at the time and the season for us to fight one another. This isn't the time and season for me to say, I'm of Paul, I'm of Apollos. Listen, one waters, another plants, God gives the increase. At the end of the day, it's all about God. Why are we fighting? Because we have that warlike mentality trying to build the Lord's house, and you still got that warlike mind in your spirit. And the Lord said, no, you can't build this house. Am I talking to anybody? He said, but I'm going to allow, while you have come and gathered up all of the tools, you've gathered up all of the equipment, you've gathered up all of the different supplies that are needed, you've gathered up all of the people, you've gathered, David, I'm going to let you do that. You gathered it together. And I want you to understand that about the ecclesia. It's gathered a lot of things together for us, children. But it's our time to build the house. Are y'all hearing me? He said, but I'm going to raise up your son that's going to have wisdom and knowledge and understanding. He's going to build what I want to see in this nation by the Spirit of God. Solomon's going to send it up for me. He's going to build that house for me. Because this, and then this is why I put in verses 20 and 21, and I want to go back to it. So then David, this is David, and you know what? It's a great person that can acknowledge this is what I wanted to do, but God told me no. Because some of us in our pride, some of us in our ego, some of us in our self-willed way, we would have still been trying. I got the wood together. I got the gold together. I got the oxen together. I got the ministers together. I got everybody together. I'm going to build this house. David said, no, the Lord said, I can't build this house because I'm a man of war. I'm a man of war. And God's house is not going to come out of fighting. Are y'all hearing me? God's house is not going to come out of contention. God's house is not going to come out of killing folk. And I'm here to tell you, the church has killed its share of people. I'm going to say it again. The church has killed its share of people trying to build the Lord a house. Am I talking to anybody? You saved, but you ain't saved. You got it, but you ain't got it. You're of God, but you're not of God. Listen, that's why I heard the Bible said, listen, let the wheat grow up with the tares and God will do the separating. Because at the end of the day, you in here with your sickle and you done cut down a whole lot of wheat. And you left a lot of tares standing. Y'all ain't buying what I'm selling. I'm going to say it one more time. The Lord would say even to the church, you came in with your sickle and you cut down a whole lot of wheat thinking it was tares while you left a whole lot of tares standing. You killed a lot of folk. You killed a lot of folk. You killed a lot of people because you're people of war. You're people that want to kill. You're people that want to murder. You're people that want to show my might, my power, flex my muscle. The Lord said, no, ma'am, no, sir. You're not going to build my house. You're going to have a seat. You're going to have all the seats. I love you, though. And thank you for gathering together all the resources. Thank you for gathering them all. I appreciate it. But at the end of the day, you're not going to build my house. You're not going to build my house. I'm going to take people whose heart is after me, that understands while man's looking on the outward appearance, God is looking on the heart. And you down around here trying to pick fruit like you the fruit inspector. You around here trying to say who is and who ain't. And the Lord said, and you just as wrong as two left shoes. Because the ain't is and the is ain't. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. But God said, I know. And so as we get to it, this is the beauty of it. David had enough self-restraint and enough integrity within himself to hear God say to him, because you're a man of war, you can't build it. He didn't fight. He didn't argue, nor, look at this, nor did he hold back and restrain all of the resources that he had gathered. But he turned to that next generation of Solomon that had been called out of Judah, that had been called out of praise, that had been called out of worship, that had been called out of relationship, that had been called out of don't look like it, that had been called out of righteous and ratchet, that had been called out of all of that. Because their heart was right. And this is what I love about it. And this is what I'm trying to get you to understand. So in this hour, we're not men and women of war as we're building the Lord's house. I need you to hear that. We're not the fighters. That generation is passing. All of them ain't dead yet. But y'all see them. Many of them passed in 2020. Y'all ain't buying what I'm selling. Many of them passed in 2020. So that there's a changing from the kingdom of David to the kingdom of Solomon. Let me pull this scripture up real quick for you. I want to read it one more time because this is what I'm trying to get you to hear. So then we're not men and women of war. We have been called in this hour in the age of God, and therein lies my subject title. We are builders and healers. We are builders and healers. Hear me. Then shall the son of the morning rise with healing in his wings. Then with healing in his wings, healing. Heal the land. Then will I heal the land. Then will I heal the land. Then, once I get all the warlike folk out of the way, when I get the killers and then will I heal the land. Whew, am I talking to anybody? Because I'm raising up builders and healers. And so then this is why I put in verses 20 and 21, because it's speaking to us, y'all. And David, this is the spirit of the generation of those men of war and those women of war that went before us. This is them speaking to us in this hour, people of God. And David, that generation ahead of us, is saying to us, their sons, their daughters, be strong and of good courage and do it. I said, Lord, Nike is in the Bible. Just do it. Y'all didn't know that, did you? Nike is in the Bible. Just do it. I loved it. And he said unto me, my son, I just need you to do it. Be strong and of good courage, and fear not, nor be dismayed. For the Lord God, even my God, will be with thee. That's why I told you even on earlier last week, you shall have good success. You shall just know it. You shall have good success. Stop being fearful of failure. Stop being fearful of who you're not and what you don't have and seeing yourself in all of these negative places. I told you, you are the ray of sun. You are the sun ray with all the power contained in you. Just get on your trajectory and shine your light on them. He said, now listen, I will not forsake thee until you have finished all the work. Come on and say, I'm going to finish all the work. Until you have finished all the work for the service of the Lord. And behold, this is what I want you to get to. Everything you need, I need you to get this in your spirit. Everything that you need is provided. With every vision, God has given you provision. With every vision, God has given you provision. With every vision, God is giving you provision. So don't be fearful. Stop looking at who you don't have and what you don't have. God has it prepared and ready for you. Do you hear what I'm saying? I just need you to determine in your mind, just like he said, just do it. And then he says this in verse 21, and behold, the courses of the priests and the Levites, even they shall be with thee for all the service of the house of God. And there shall be with thee all manner of workmanship, every willing, skillful man for any manner of service. Also the princes and the people will be wholly at your commandment. So what the Lord is wanting you to understand, everything and everybody, every work that you need, what you don't have, the Lord said, I've got it in the priest. I've got it in the Levite. I've got it in the skillful worker. But I just want you to know everything that you need, I'm going to put it at your disposal. And it's going to be at your commandment. It's going to be there ready for you to speak to it. And it's going to manifest and it's going to answer. Am I talking to anybody? so that we can come out of this place of fear, so we can come out of this place of lack, so we can come out of this place of I don't have enough, I don't have the means, I don't have the people. Baby, you got everything you need. And when you get up and just do it, and that's why I'm going to come back to what I said here. I love the mix that God is putting together right now, because I understand what the hand of the Lord is doing, even in the midst of us right now. What God is doing, he's giving us everything that we need. So what you need, it will be provided. What this person needs, it will be provided. And then there are things stored up by David and the generation ahead of us. We haven't even tapped it yet, but it's already there and waiting in store, waiting for Solomon to rise up. But I need you to understand that we are builders and healers. So guess what? We're not going out into the world in this hour beating folks up, beating folks down, tearing folks up, talking about, no ma'am. We're not out here trying to figure out, are you of Paul? Are you of Apollos? Who are you of? Are you Baptist? Are you Methodist? Are you Catholic? Are you some other faith tradition? What? We're not that's not what we are of, because we're not men and women of war. We ain't trying to fight and divide nothing. We're coming in together. All of us together. When he begins to talk about in the naming in verse 6, all of the different ones that he's calling to him, all the different ones of the nobles, the high people, the low people, all the people, the skillful people, the unskilled people, the religious people, the unreligious, everybody. He called them all. And he said, I need all of y'all to come together, because we're no longer men of war. We're no longer women of war. We're builders and we're healers. That's who we are. We are builders and we are healers. That's who we are. I'm going to say it one last time. We are builders and we are healers. It's a different dispensation. It's a different time. So for everybody that's still out there wanting to be warlike, that's not where we are. And I'm going to close it out with this. As he told him, he said, because for this hour, I've raised up and called Judah. I've called the praiser. And listen, not only the praisers of God, but when you find folks that can become praisers of one another, when I can look at Sheila Miles and the gift that she is, the sun ray that she is, and appreciate and applaud her and bless her on her way. Bless her in her trajectory. Bless her in her ministry. Bless her. When I become a praiser, I've never seen the day. I've never seen the day where so many people want all of the accolades and all the praise like nobody else. You just, what I call, suck up all the oxygen out of the room. This isn't the day and this isn't the hour of the suck all the, and this is the time for people to check yourself, check your spirit, check your heart, check your emotions. Are you that kind of person that everywhere you go, you suck up all the oxygen out of the room, or try to suck up all the oxygen out of the room? This ain't the day for that. And I guarantee that's a warlike spirit, because after you suck up all the oxygen out of the room, everybody else in the room is dead because we didn't have any oxygen to breathe. Am I talking to anybody? You done sucked up all the oxygen and left the folks asphyxiated, choked on your ego. But that's not the season that we're in. And we surely... And some of y'all not going to receive this. Y'all can keep on fighting the devil if you want to. Keep right on. The devil's already defeated, but knock yourself out. And the truth be told, for anybody that's here, y'all know when I do, could it be? That's really an inside joke that started with myself and those from my ministry, because they know I already do this thing. The devil's already defeated. So for everybody that comes in and gets real excited, oh, she talking about the devil. There's some folk, they get excited when you start. They get more excited talking about the devil than they do talking about God. I'm not worried about the devil. He's defeated. He's under my feet. He's under my feet. And whenever I get ready, I tap dance on his head. That's why I shout. That's why I dance. I tap dance on the devil's head because he's under my feet. I'm not worried about the devil. God has given his angels charge over me to keep me in all my ways. And the angel of the Lord is in camp, meaning they don't break camp. Everywhere I go, everywhere I be, morning, noon, and night, my angels are encamped round about me. Y'all out here doing all this that you trying to do. I got big angels that take good care of me. They do. They'll even reveal a plot. I ain't even looking for plots and plans that men have laid for me. And my angels will give me the inside information. 411. I spy. Listen, this is what's going on. I ain't even looking for that because he's giving his angels charge over me, y'all. So y'all can keep on if y'all want to. Knock yourself out. I trust my beloved. I know I'm the apple of God's eye, and he's surely the apple of mine. I trust that love to the extent I ain't got to fight. I ain't got to get out and hoof it for myself. Knock yourself out, but that's not my lover. That's not the lover. He's the lover of my soul. That's not my lover. He doesn't have me out here hustling for myself, trying to protect myself. So y'all I said, knock yourself out. But that warlike in us, we just can't let it go. We just got to do it. I got to fight. Go ahead, knock yourself out. And then we start fighting one another. But I am not a man of war. I am not a woman of war. I am of the house of Solomon. I am. Give me all 700 wives and 300 concubines. Bring everybody into the family. Y'all, I lost y'all right there. Bring everybody into the family. And let's be one big loving family to build the Lord a house. Am I talking to anybody? It's the age of God, y'all. It's the age of God. And so we see the transitioning from people, even spiritually, I'm talking about, the people of war who could not build the Lord's house, as God said to David, but as the people of Solomon that are ready to build the Lord's house in peace. In peace. Jerusalem, Salam, peace, the place of peace. In the place of peace. So now, if I know that I'm the healing in his wings, if I know that by me, he's going to heal the land. And I'm going to go back again, Romans 8, all creation is groaning, waiting for the manifestation for the sons and daughters of God. I plan to be busy. Will you be busy with me? Let's be builders and healers and stop the war. I love y'all with the love of God. I hope that this has blessed you. If you have questions on it, please feel free, reach out to me, because listen, I understand we have taught y'all to be people of war in the body. We have taught y'all, we have trained y'all, we have ingrained it in you. We have developed that so deeply in you that y'all don't know. When they say, ain't gonna study war no more, I ain't gonna study war no more. I'm not. Y'all can keep studying war. I'm not gonna study war. I'm gonna study how I can build, and I'm gonna study how I can heal, because that's what I'm called to be. I love y'all. Everybody that came in here, there was some that came in later as I was preaching. I missed you when you came in. Let me take a Sister Caressa Key. God bless you. Yes, we stand together, sis. We stand together. Come on here. DJ Wild Rose Onyx Heart. Thank you for coming in, sis. I love you. I love you. I love you. Aguna Badger. Thank you for coming in, my brother. I love you. Oh, I love you so much. Larnell Gregory. That's my baby. That's my son, y'all. I adopted him yesterday. That's my son. That's my son. I love you, Larnell. I do. I really do. And I hope I haven't missed anybody else that came in late into the stream. Y'all know I love you. I hope this word. Oh, DJ T-Rail, I see you. Come on in here, preacher. Come on in here. I hope that you were able to latch onto this word and get some of it on today. Now, I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back at 6 o'clock with my friend. Now, my friends plan to come in and be ratchet. So you got the righteous here at 2 o'clock because 6 o'clock is about to be ratchet. I got my friends coming in and I think they're going to be led by Royal Confessions and also Jonna CPW. They gonna come in at 6 o'clock and be a little ratchet on this evening for those that want to come back this evening and come in and have fellowship. Kinetic K, I see you, sis. I love you all. I hope this word was able to penetrate and reach you. If it was too much for you and you can't go there just yet, just chew on it, as my father said, like a cow chewing cud. Cough it up a little bit later on, chew on it, get a little bit more out of it, swallow, and keep doing that until you can get what you can. Again, if anything I said today was confusing to you, feel free to reach out to me because I will break it down for you because I want you to understand and hear ye the word of the Lord. I love y'all. I appreciate you. You are so beautiful to me. Let me see if we're going to raid. I'm going to see if give just a hot second here to see if we're raid. Yes, there's the raid. So those that will ride the raid train over, go ahead and ride that raid train if you would. I appreciate you. I love you. I love you. Y'all know I love you. I love you. Ain't no doubt about it. And as one old preacher said, and ain't nothing you can do about it. So as we get up out of here, I want y'all to be blessed, be blessed, be blessed, and listen. Peace for your journey. I love you. Now, that's the wrong one. This is the one I was trying to get. Now, I'm gonna give it a little bit of time so they can get our raid set up and we can get ready to get out of here. Hi, I'm Lex. I see you. You snuck in on me. I'm so glad you said something because I surely would not have wanted to miss you. I always want to give mad mod love to my moderator, the Rebel Inc. She's in there holding us down today. Lady T, thank you so much for dropping in. I hope that y'all were able to glean just a little bit of something out of that. And here we go. We going out of here. Peace for your journey.